Hey everyone, this is Jevon Bowley, also known as Diabolus Nemesis. I do 3 pages. One is J Solo Project, which is strictly music and music related stuff, mostly, my solo project. And I also have a character named Diabolus Nemesis. That is the current character for J Solo Project. And I started up in 2014 this page called Diabolus Nemesis, which is affably called Diary of the Diabolus. It's where I usually have a rant section and where I mouth off and be edgy and, have a vocal piece as opposed to doing music on this page. I do talk about some musical stuff on here, but sometimes things can be quite political and things can be, edgy. Then, I think around about a couple of years ago, I started up a section. I kind of started a thing called Diabolus Speaks, where I turned the main segment, which was Diary of the Diabolus, into Diabolus Speaks. And then I decided before the 2017 election, I decided to do a page called Diabolus Speaks and shifted platforms because that's what I wanted to do. And for a while, I decided not to do any more content on this page because I shifted platforms and I decided, okay, I'll change my platforms and I'll go on from there. Which I did, and I basically let this page become very dormant. And I thought to myself, okay, I've had this page for 5 years. I've started off on this. I started this new one. And I thought to myself, okay, what should I do? Should I just completely let it die on its own and, erase it from existence? Because I have quite a bit of history on this page. And I have quite a lot of history on this page, and I don't really want to kill it off completely. And, Diabolus Speaks has more of a dialogue, and it's got a set way of doing dialogue. And I decided, okay, I do something that is set with Diabolus Speaks, and if the technology allows me, and I decide to think to myself earlier tonight, okay, I've had this page for ages and I don't really want to fuck it over completely because of the historical relevance that I have with it. So I decided to myself tonight, okay, I'm going to revive this page and I'm going to do things more unscripted, off the cuff. Now, there has been a lot of things that has plagued Diabolus Speaks and the lack of visual type content as of late, and I've just been posting up articles in the news and what have you. Now, the reason being why I haven't done much in terms of that sort of content as of late is mostly because of technical issues. As you may know, I have a PC, I have a computer, and I used to be a computer technician. And keeping this computer, alive is not fucking easy work. When hardware problems rise up and come to roost, they can plague your, what you want to do, and it can be quite problematic. And sometimes you have to buy parts, and sometimes you have to upgrade your equipment as well. So I've recently had motherboard issues for a long time, and I have this interface which I do all my recording with because one of these require phantom power. And I'm not going to run a phantom power unit into the back of a sound card just for that purpose. So the stock sound cards don't have phantom power, and I don't want to buy one of those phantom power units just for that purpose so I can run this motherfucker. So the interface I was having a lot of issues, mostly due to the firewire on the last board I had. So for a while I thought my interface was playing up. For a while I thought my microphone was playing up, and I had to buy a new microphone. I didn't wind up buying a new microphone. I thought I needed to buy a new one. And it started happening again probably around about several weeks ago, where my interface was dropping itself completely with the driver in Windows. It was all connected up, everything was running fine, it was powering up because it's bus powered, and it was yeeting itself completely with the Firewire card. And I wasn't using the onboard Firewire card on my Gigabyte board because I had a Gigabyte I think it was a GA X48 DS4, yeah, that board. And that board was so fucking terrible, I'll tell you this. I only had that board, I've only used that board for 6 months, and it's fucking problematic. It won't pick up my USB drives. If I wanted to USB boot into Windows, USB boot into my Windows operating systems, it was picking up the Firewire drives, but it wasn't picking up the Firewire devices, so it was a major problem. And it led me to be under the impression that my audio interface was on the fritz. It was that problematic that it was even causing my audio interface, my Edirol. It was causing that to cause issues with my recording mic, which I thought that it was on the fritz, but it wasn't. So it was causing a lot of problems. Then I decided to myself, okay, I'm going to upgrade my audio interface anyway to see if it alleviates the problem. And then it wouldn't pick up under Firewire, and I thought that device was fucking dud, but it wasn't. It was a full working item from a recording studio, and recording studios look after their stuff. So I thought to myself, okay, it's the fucking motherboard. So I decided to myself, okay, I have this Asus P5Q Pro motherboard, which I bought, and I thought to myself, okay, I have this decent graphics card, which I thought was fine. It's an AMD graphics card, and it's decent, and I can do a lot with it. So I put everything in, I took the processor out of my 8GB board, took my RAM out, put everything in, rebuilt my system, rebuilt my PC from the ground up, and it wouldn't show anything on the screen. And I thought to myself, that's weird. You know, the graphics card's PCI Express 2.0. It's, you know, a reasonably okay graphics card. Then I did some Googling, and I did some research into graphics card compatibility. And it turns out that graphics card's not compatible with that motherboard. It's not on the compatibility list. So I thought to myself, shit. Okay, here we go. So I thought the motherboard wasn't problematic. Everything was running fine. Then I went on TradeMe and I decided, okay, you know, NVIDIA cards have more compatibility with this motherboard as opposed to the Gigabyte motherboards. Not the Gigabyte, the AMD graphics cards. So I bought this NVIDIA GeForce GTX 570. It's an MSI card and it's an overclock edition, so it's fucking fast. It's decent. And everything is now happy again in the kingdom. Everything's running perfectly fine. The Edirol's actually working. And I have that piggybacked with the new interface, which I spent fucking money on. So that's all good. Everything is fine. And then I decided to myself, okay, I'm going to buy some more equipment. I've had my action cam for quite a while, and I use this action cam for my webcam, which I've had for the last 6 months. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to buy some equipment, and I decided to buy these new lights, which I've got one going behind me and I got one in front of me. So the lighting was a major factor in a lot of my videos, and that was a major problem, with some of my content, because that was plaguing my quality. The audio was a major factor, the video was a major factor, and the lighting was a fucking major factor as well. And I thought to myself, what if I buy a green screen and have a backdrop behind me? So I went on Wish, being the fucking idiot that I am, bought some backdrop clamps, I should say, and they were fucking cheap. And how about I go on the prowl and buy a green screen, which I did, and it was actually quite cheap. So I bought some green screen. I bought a very long green screen, which is pretty big. So Diabolus Speaks is going to be done in front of a green screen. So that's why I've got the lighting, and I've got a decent camera now, and I've got a decent microphone, and everything's going to be done via green screen now. So I'm going to probably work in some backdrop stuff, and I'm going to be sitting in front of a green screen. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting. I haven't done anything with a green screen before. So Diabolus Speaks is coming back with better content in terms of being in front of a green screen. And I'm going to be doing off-the-cuff stuff with this page. It's going to be like a Diabolus 2 Electric Boogaloo type thing. So I'll have the odd article, and I'll have the odd opinion piece on those articles, and some other things as well as doing updates and doing out of the box type stuff. Nothing too severe and nothing too major, but it's going to probably be good with this page, because as opposed to J Solo Project, it's on its own. This is totally separate from J Solo Project. The reason why I have it separate from J Solo Project is because it's its own beast. It's music primarily. It's my music thing. I sometimes do the odd gear review, which I'm thinking of doing one for artist guitars. I'm actually thinking on doing something for artist guitars in terms of a gear review, but that's unsanctioned for them, primarily considering the fact that they've already done a gear review for this type of guitar, and it's not really on the market. It's more of a it's more something that I feel like I want to do, but at the same time I'll do something with that in the near future, but that's something to look out. I'm also going to be doing stuff, like I'm going to probably do another playthrough with J Solo Project very soon. I'm looking at doing a playthrough, and I'm also going to probably have a headstock camera on that guitar, on one of my guitars, so I can do some real cool stuff with that. But I've got a lot of camera stuff now. As you can see in here, I've got some camera stuff in there. So I got some cameras, and yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. So you'll be seeing some really, really awesome fucking stuff from there. Yeah, I think that's about it for now. But yeah, this page is not dead. I haven't killed it off. I just didn't know what to do with it at the time because I've shifted formats and shifted platforms. So, and also, you know, the gear issues that I've had over the last, I don't know, year I think I've been having. But now things are back to normal, and I'm able to soldier on with this type of content, and I'm able to get everything back up and running properly. So yeah, cheerio, catch you later.